Hello, church. Good midweek to you. It's my turn now, as I've been sharing this midweek update now with our associate pastors, and thank you to them for all the great work they've been doing. But I do want to give you an update in anticipation for the written report that you will see from the COVID Advisory Task Force that will appear in your tapestry this Friday. Last week in this report, Heather Mustaine, our associate pastor, gave you the news that the Dallas County threat level has been reduced from red to orange. And she said that gives us a sliver of hope as we are moving forward. I would say the emphasis was on sliver in our minds, but some in our community, including some churches, are working more on the hope and are opening more than we are at Wilshire, to be honest about it. Because we have established some guidelines about how we will open and when that we are sticking to. So we're obviously going to be watching to see how some of those folks who have been opening up, whether they're businesses or schools or churches, how they fare. But nonetheless, remember that this is still a very dangerous period of time. I can say this from personal experience also, because just this week, both my brother and my nephew tested positive for COVID. They are asymptomatic and doing okay, but they're 2 weeks now in isolation because of it, and they have been exceedingly careful. This is a really dangerous time still for us in our community, and so I urge you to wear a mask and keep social distancing, that sort of thing. Nonetheless, the move toward orange helps us a bit, and that is we can do some things that we couldn't do during the period when it was a red threat level. And so some outdoor activities are being planned already last Sunday night. The music and missions for kids was in the parking lot, and that was a great success as a beginning time. And as the weather cools, we're planning other things as well. The youth have been meeting on Wednesday nights in the parking lot. So there's some activity taking place that you'll hear more and more about. Additionally, this allows us to have some small groups indoors as well in certain designated areas of the building. So there are guidelines that we're developing for that, and you can look, if you're interested in using the building for a small group, what do those guidelines entail? Again, those will be on the website in the COVID Task Force section. So overall, what I want to say is that the COVID Task Force, and under the leadership of Heather Mustaine, has done a really great job of reinforcing the big general principles that will guide us, which are summarized in the acronym SEEC. Remember that we're coming back only when it is a safe experience for everybody, not opening in such a way as it's going to still be too risky for many people in our church to be there. So therefore, keep in mind our principles, our guiding values about this. But also, they've had to do not just the big work of general principles, but the mundane, detailed work of figuring out what are the guidelines that we'll follow for each step of the way, whether it's outdoor activities, indoor meetings, that sort of thing. And so please give them your thanks when you hear from them, see them in whatever possible way. I'm exceedingly grateful to the task force and to our staff for all that they have done, and to all of you at our church for your great and generous spirit during this time. You've really been consistent and faithful in supporting this direction. While others are becoming more and more anxious at times about when things will open and whatnot, we are holding the line and doing our part for the community's health in this difficult period. So we appreciate that very much. Among the new things happening, I do want to reinforce that Koinonia Cafe to Go is underway. On Wednesdays, now you can pick up your food from the kitchen at Wilshire. And it can be ordered on Tuesday online, and you can pick it up on Wednesday. And it's important to us that we be able to do this not only as a service to you, but it gives you an opportunity to support our kitchen staff, and it helps us to pay them. Because as you know, during this whole period, we've committed to paying our essential workers, and this gives them a chance to work for their pay, and the money that we receive from this allows us to be able to defray those costs. So please do that. We're aiming at 200 meals. We're about 3/4 of the way there on the first week. So we need to expand this in order to really recover all of our costs and pay for this effort. We'll be experimenting with expanding this in coming weeks in different ways. So give it a shot and go online at least by Tuesday evening and order your food. Look forward to seeing you again on Sunday as I continue my series, Accounting Standards, in the book of Matthew. And now, stay tuned for the rest of your Wednesday update.
Hi everyone, I'm glad you're joining us today. As we continue our theme of story, we're going to reflect on moments today where we have encountered God. Some of those moments may be big mountaintop experiences, and others may be smaller moments where we heard that still small voice or a warm and comforting presence. We're going to read one of my favorite Bible stories today. We're going to read about Hagar's encounter with God in the wilderness. God who saw her out there in the wilderness. We'll begin our story with a pregnant Hagar who's out on the run into the wilderness after she has fled Abraham and Sarah's home after Sarah deals harshly with her. After we read this story, we'll have a few moments of guided reflection. If at any point in this video you feel you need more time to reflect or to breathe, feel free to pause and continue as you are ready. As you begin to think about some of these moments of divine encounter in your life, breathe deeply. Be aware of where you are, and be aware of your body right now. How has your week been thus far? Has it felt like a busy week? Or maybe it's felt like a busy month? Do you feel overwhelmed at all? Keep breathing. Take this time today to pause and to rest. Take this time to simply be. Nothing is being asked of you right now other than to breathe and just be. As you continue to breathe, let yourself be enveloped by the presence of God. Breathe deep. Breathe deep the breath of God.
My feet are strong, my walk in the light of God's highway.
Let us hear of Hagar in Genesis 16. The angel of the Lord found her, Hagar, by a spring of water in the wilderness, the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, slave girl of Sarai, where have you come from and where are you going? She said, I'm running away from my mistress Sarai. The angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress and submit to her. The angel of the Lord also said to her, I will so greatly multiply your offspring that they cannot be counted for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, now you have conceived and shall bear a son. You shall call him Ishmael. God hears. For the Lord has given heed to your affliction. He shall be a wild ass of a man, with his hand against everyone and everyone's hand against him, and he shall live at odds with all his kin. So she named the Lord who spoke to her, you are El Roy, the God who sees. For she said, have I really seen God and remained alive after seeing him? Where are you? Where have you come from, and to where are you going? Are we running? Are you? Can you hear your name on the lips of angels? Where do you hear God's voice today? In your running, in your hiding, by springs of water, or in the dry, dry heat of Texas? What name do you have for God? What will you call this God who sees?
Thank you for joining us again for this time of reflection and meditation in the middle of your week. Please join us again next week as we continue our theme of story. And now, whether you feel like you are on the run, stuck in place, or meandering somewhere in between, may you have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and the spirit to feel God's divine presence around you this day. Amen.